Namaste. In this video, we will study something about Swadharma. Many of us have this question, what is Swadharma? And what determines Swadharma? So in the Bhagwat Geeta, we have an answer to this. See, in the past, Swadharma was always determined by caste. But it is very clear that the caste system itself, you see, that does not determine the nature of a person. According to his action, according to the nature of his mind, a person's nature can be determined. So it is actually guna karma vibhag. It is very rightly put in the Bhagwat Geeta. Just being born into a certain caste cannot determine a person's inclination. Although, yes, certain tendencies of that may be present, but it does not wholly determine a person's inclination. But his actions are direct pointers to what he holds within himself, and so also his intentions, his thoughts, his, you can say, inclinations. So, Swadharma is actually the dharma which your inner nature impels you to perform. That is Swadharma. So, being true to one's Swadharma is the direct way to progress in life. This is what the Bhagwat Gita tells us. Swadharma itself means being true to your inner inclinations, your inner nature. Now, look at the words which the Bhagwat Gita have used, Lord Krishna has used in the Bhagwat Gita to show that how Swadharma, just the following of one's Swadharma and placing the fruits of those actions at the feet of the Lord, how does it take you forward in your spiritual life? Sve sve karmanya bhirata samsiddhim labhate naraha swakarmana nirata siddhim yatha vindati tachruno. Just by sticking to one's Swadharma, by the karma which one has chosen by one's inner nature, by one's inclinations, by one's attitude, by one's very, you can say his very mental makeup is of that type. That karma, through that alone, being rata, in that alone one can attain the highest siddhi. And swakarmana nirata siddhi, how does one attain this siddhi? By dedication to Swadharma and the karma one has chosen for oneself. That I will explain, please listen. Lord Krishna says. Then he says, Yatha pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Which means, from where all pravritti arises, the source of all work, action, outward movement, and that very source which is the all-pervasive source of all creation, by which is pervaded everything, swakarmana tamabhyarcha, by your everyday action, you can worship him with that very action and siddhim labhate, vindati manavaha. He can attain the highest siddhi, which means he can attain the goal of all yoga just by surrendering the fruit of his everyday action to the Lord. That action which is swakarmana. It is his own action. He has done it fully with his mind. That the fruit of that action, if surrendered to the Supreme, will lead one to the highest goals of human life. This is what is being said. Further he says, Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharmat svanushthitat swabhava niyatam karma kurvan apnoti kilbisham. That work which is in tune with your own real nature is very good for you, he's saying. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharmat. That, see, we can make a lot of mistakes in understanding this. Well, I like to do this thing. It means it is my nature. It is not absolutely like that. If there is some amount of sadhana in life, some amount of austerity in life, you will understand what your deepest inclinations are. That is when you determine what your Swadharma is. It will be according to your guna and according to the karmas you have performed. That is why guna karma vibhaga yoga is a very important term. What it means to say is, at the deepest level, you are inclined in this way. And this level cannot be understood by mere identification with one particular caste or some superficial mood of your mind. You cannot understand it like that. So some amount of inner penetration and deeper understanding of one's own mind is required even to grasp what my Swadharma is. And the instruction given here is, you will get Shreyas, the highest good, if you just stick to this inclination of yours, this inner Swadharma. But sticking to another's Swadharma just out of some obstinacy or because it is somebody's opinion about you or it is some kind of a compulsion on you, in that way, if you take up somebody's Swadharma and try to perform it, it will not bring you much good. That is what is being said. Because Swabhava Niyatam Karma Kurvana Apnoti Kilbisham. That work which you perform as a result of your deepest inner inclination will purify you completely. It will lead you to the highest. So we have to understand the concept of Swadharma very carefully. Many people understand it very superficially and then come to grief. To give in to one's random thoughts or moods or just some upsurge of emotion or to the hijack of your hormones, all this is not called Swadharma. Please understand. People understand it in different ways. Oh, I want to do this. I have a liking for this. Your liking is as superficial as your dislike. Take care, that is why. Even to understand the depths of your mind, you require a certain amount of dam in you, a certain amount of courage, fearlessness and sadhana. Then only you will understand the deep inclinations of your mind and how much you are yearning for one particular ideal in life. So your path, as it were, gets carved out by this, and then you can understand what action will suit you best, what course of life will suit you best, what profession will suit you best, what your vocation is. It's an inner calling. It is not a superficial assent to somebody's opinion or somebody's reaction. Please understand this. This inner calling can only be discovered if you are calm, composed and inward turned. That is when your Swadharma surfaces and you understand that this is what you would want to do, and that will work magically for you. So understanding this is very important in life. That is why the emphasis given on Swadharma. Don't try to judge these things on very superficial ground. Then sahajam karma kaunteya swadosham api natyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumenagni rivavrita. What the meaning of this is, the work that is natural to you, sahajam karma kaunteya swadosham api natyajet, even if it is endowed with some fault, don't give it up. The inclination that is natural to you, that is born of your own nature, as per your gunas, as per your karmas, it is sort of inbuilt. You see, the energy within us, it's like a force which will meander its way through all our conditioning. If you understand the levels of your conditioning and your inner pravritti, you will know which course to take best. What is best for you? Accordingly, you will choose your work, you will choose your profession, you choose your career, you choose what you want to do after your retirement. Your choices will be perfect. But if you have no insight into the inner life, just because at present I feel like doing this, it's not a whimsical affair, Swadharma. So this is what is being said. This deep inner inclination, if you can find out, then he says, sahajam karma, that will work out very naturally for you. And even if it is it has some fault in it, don't worry, because all works, dhume nagni vrita means even as fire lets out some smoke, so also all works can let out, they may have some fault. As fire covered with smoke, something like that. So all works can have some fault. So don't think that work is perfect. No, it is the work for you, through which you will liberate your mind. So each one has to discover this for himself or herself. Naturally, see, in modern life, this Swadharma thing has created a lot of confusion. For the simple reason, people are trying to find their Swadharma without any inner discipline. And also, another thing about Swadharma is parents try to choose the Swadharma of their children. How do you know the deepest inclinations of your child's mind? That is another soul in evolution. It has passed through so much to come to this level. All you need to give is give it sanskars to turn inward so that it discovers itself fully. Instead of doing that, you will choose what it will do in the future. That will clash with its own mental makeup. And then the child becomes confused or dispirited and is not able to do well in your choice. So all this creates unnecessary complications. The only thing we can do to our children is you give them the right sanskars to be able to think and function in the proper manner. Beyond that, you are not in charge of their lives. They will build their life themselves. They will discover their Swadharma for themselves. And they will discover this mighty philosophy of the Gita. It's a personal discovery. It's a personal journey. And nobody has the right to direct this journey in a particular way. You can inspire them, you can give them the right sanskars, but their choices they alone will have to make, isn't it? So that is why an in-depth understanding of Swadharma and how it works is very important. Even in this age, in every age, every individual will only follow his deepest longings. How best to convert those longings into something very noble and elevating, that we should try to do, but not try to direct his actions or his particular career. That will not work. So this is the understanding of Swadharma which the Bhagwat Geeta gives us. And for every person, it is very important to discover your deepest calling. If you do that, you will get great fulfillment in life. If you miss your calling, and somebody else's version of your interests and your calling becomes yours, you will miss the highest fulfillment of your life. This is the understanding of Swadharma. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.